Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster, and this is Ask Lukenessmonster episode 87, the series on the channel where I answer your guys' questions from the comments down below. So if you guys do want your questions answered in next week's video, make sure to go down and comment below on this week's video, and I'll try my very best to answer it. The first question from Master Plo, he asks, if your whole collection was to disappear and you could only keep one Black Series figure, who would you keep? So I think I would 100% have to say the Black Series Captain Rex figure. I just 100% believe it is the best Black Series figure ever made, hands down, from the articulation, to the paint apps, to the face print. It's all the best Hasbro's ever done, and I think just because of that, I would have to say that. Now, I think the tempting one is the Black Series 5's figure, but I actually don't own that one yet, and there is some problems with that one, so I think I would have to go ahead and answer Captain Rex. The next question from Torn Rock, he says, how would you feel about obscure clones from the novels and comics being added to the line, such as Commando Omega Squad? Great question, and honestly, I love all of the clones. I don't care what they're from or what book or piece of media they're from. I just want more clones in the line, and so I don't really care where they're from. I would take clones. Now, I'm not familiar with these clones, so I actually don't know much about Omega Squad other than the fact that they're a commando group that has like a matte black finish, so I think it'd be super cool to get those in the line, but it's one of those where I think I would have to do my research and kind of get to know the characters to really, really love them and appreciate them, but at the end of the day, I love clones, and I'll take any clone that you got. The next question from Speed Motor Creed, he asks, hypothetically, if Hasbro lost the rights to Star Wars figures, what company would you love to see do the line justice? Anyway, love your videos, highlight of my day. Dude, I really appreciate that. I always love to see comments like that. And to answer your question, honestly, that's a tough question to answer. I think Hasbro does the best job with these Black Series figures. Now, I think there's a lot of those overseas companies like SH Figure Arts or Mayfex that would do a pretty good job, but the problem with those import companies is that they're just really, really expensive. You're paying $70, $80, $90, $100 for a figure, and it's just not affordable for the average collector, and that's why I think Hasbro's Black Series figures are really, really good, just because they're affordable. $20 to $25 a figure is a pretty reasonable price. Because of that, I think it would have to go to a company that would keep it around that same price, so I think the most obvious answer for this would be McFarlane. I know McFarlane doesn't really like 6-inch scale stuff. They tend to do more 7-inch scale figure lines, and so I think I would prefer it to be a 6-inch scale line, and that's why I would kind of shy away from McFarlane. Now, you could always do something like NECA. Now, NECA does have a few problems, but I think for like justice-wise, they would definitely include a lot of accessories, and I think the packaging would look incredible as well. So I think NECA would definitely do a good job, but I do think that, one, they're a little pricey. They go between $35 and $40 a figure, and so you'd definitely be paying more for your figures. Now, granted, you're going to be getting those extra accessories and the nice packaging, which is cool, but another problem is it is also 7-inch scale, so it's going to be shying away from that 6-inch line. Or there's always a company like Jazzware, which does the Spartan collection figures for Halo, and I actually really like those figures, so I think they could do Hasbro some justice. Theirs is also a lot closer to 6-inch scale than McFarlane and NECA, so I think that Jazzware would be a good option, but I think out of all of these, Hasbro is going to be knocking it out of the park the most. Their photoreal technology is the best, as well as their advancements in articulation. It's just really good, and I don't think I'd want to see it go away from Hasbro. The next question from 80s Kid, he said, could we get an updated Darth Vader from Rebels? We really need a Vader with updated articulation. So, I don't necessarily think we'll ever get a Darth Vader from Rebels, but even if we did, he would not come with updated articulation. They've been using the exact same Vader body since the first Vader was released, so obviously they've updated it with the torso and arms a little bit here and there, but leg-wise, they're not updating those legs anytime soon. I unfortunately don't think they will, so you never know, they might surprise us, but as far as a Rebels Vader, I think, like, in the canon lore, Vader's helmet doesn't actually change. It's not a different helmet. It's just the art style of Star Wars Rebels that makes it that more curvy, stylized helmet. So he actually doesn't have a different helmet. It's just the art style of Rebels, and Black Series tries to do realistic adaptations of stuff. So the Black Series would never make that curvy helmet that Vader has in Rebels. The next question says, can we expect any type of 4-packs in the future? great question. If you asked me this a year ago, I probably would have said no. For a while there, Hasbro kind of phased out multi-packs, but recently they've kind of brought them back. They did. They started with the build-up packs with like the Mando and Grogu build-up packs, and they kind of worked their way up. We got the Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane 2-pack, and just recently we got some 2 and 3 packs pipelined with the Fallen Order 3-pack, as well as the like Super Battle Droid 2-pack. So it's working its way back up to 4-packs, and I do think in the future they will bring back 4-packs. It might be a little ways away, but I do think they're going to try to get back to that at some point. The next question from Collector Cody, he asks, what Star Wars film / TV / Legends material do you think needs more figures in the line? Choose a few that you think we should get. So, I think 100% the answer for this is prequel trilogy stuff. Hasbro has gone really hard on the original trilogy when the line first started, and then once the sequels started coming out, they went really hard on the sequels, and then once these new TV shows like Mando and Kenobi, all these new shows have come out, they've gone really hard on the shows, and the prequel trilogy kind of got lost in the middle. They've done a few figures here and there, they've given a little bit of love to the Clone Wars, which I do really appreciate, but the majority of the, prequel trilogy with Phantom Menace to Revenge of the Sith, we just haven't got a ton of figures for, and it's desperately needed. The next question says, so what do you think the odds that Hasbro will go back and archive or complete lines from the sequel trilogy, Solo, or Rebels? There are so many holes in those groups that have great figures already in the line that still hold up to this day. So as far as sequel trilogy or Solo figures go, I don't think the odds are very high, and honestly, I don't hope they do either. Those figured lines, they just didn't sell very well after The Force Awakens, and they peg-warmed forever, and so after the failure of those movies and those figure lines, Hasbro has kind of taken a far step away from that material as far as possible. Any sequel trilogy figures that had already been made or had been planned to be released have been shelved to be released as far back as possible. And even with Solo, I know that a lot of those Solo figures went and hit discounted like Ollie's and other stores like that. And so to see them archived, I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we did get the Force Awakens Han Solo archived, so I think there is still hope, but it's one of those where I think they're going to try to stay as far away from sequel trilogy characters as possible. I think Solo's a different story. Obviously, the Lando show is coming out within the next 5 years, hopefully, so I think that it's possible they might revisit the Solo figures then. But as far as Rebels figures go, I 100% hope we get Rebels figures archived and re-released. I think that the Rebel figures are great that we already have in the line, and they're really expensive on the aftermarket right now. Even with the Ahsoka show coming out, I think it would be a great idea to archive a lot of these Rebel figures, and there's so many that could benefit from just new figures in the line. Like, we need an Agent Kallus, and there's a lot of other Rebels figures I can go and name off that we need. So yeah, I do hope that we get some more Rebels figures. We'll have to wait and see though. The next question is from Commander Cook, and Commander Cook is actually a channel member, so channel members do get priority replies to comments when it comes to videos like Ask Lukenessmonster, so if you do want that, maybe go down and consider hitting that join button below. Channel members do get a ton of perks, including cool name badges next to your name, which actually changes as months go on, so you start as a standard plain white shiny clone trooper and progress as the months go on. You also get exclusive emojis you can only use in my videos, so if this does sound intriguing to you, go down and hit that join button. It's one of the best ways to support the channel. And anyway, on to Commander Cook's question. He asks, what do you think about the Rey Skywalker movie that will be coming out in a few years? I am personally hyped. I'm not too hyped about it. I think it's going to be cool, and I'd like to see how they think they can redeem Rey's character, but I think that the sequel trilogy had a lot of problems, and I think Disney should try to stay away from it if they want to save Star Wars. I don't think that Rey is a character that is worth saving at this point, and so any media that you do about her is going to get a ton of hate from the Star Wars community, and it's going to be really divisive no matter how good the series is, so we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be super great. We'll see, but yeah. Anyway guys, that is actually going to do it for this video. Unfortunately, there was a ton of questions that I really wanted to answer, and unfortunately there just was not enough time in this video to get around to answering it, so if you did leave a comment that you really want answered, make sure to leave it again on this video, or feel free to leave another one, and I will try my very best to get to it in the next episode. But I do want to thank everybody for leaving a comment. I really appreciate seeing all of your guys' supports on these videos, and it really motivates me to keep on pushing them out. So if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and again, make sure to leave a comment down below so I can answer it in next week's video. And thank you again for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.